Previously on the Frontier Farmer. The nice ridges that we have got formed here with the very healthy potato plants now growing in them. New field is nicely grown and ready to harvest. We will get this cut as best we can. Then it's going to be on to tedding, then it'll be windrowing, and then forage wagon collecting. 223,158 litres of hay. But here we go, here is our compost. Fire the Volvo up, get the beacon on. Some lovely compost going in there. So next month is going to be about drilling new field with a new crop, and then moving on to some of the other spring work we have planned. Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Frontier Farmer at the Dark Forest. It is now May time, and I'm heading into the animal farm first of all this morning because we have got some urgent needs for some TMR. The cows are completely out of it, so I need to grab the mixing wagon so we can get silage, hay and straw. So I need to head over to our little silage storage yard, grab some silage, and then back to the hayloft to get the other two components. And I think the pigs are also in need of a little bit of base food, some corn and some protein, some soybeans, and generally I think the animals need a little bit of attention now we are later into spring. So I'm going to get started with that this morning, and then later on today we have got some drilling plans. That's right, new field which had grass in is now ready for us to re-drill because we got the last cut of grass that we wanted to last month, which was really good for our hay stocks. But yet we want to put in a different crop, so Newfield has got some hopefully some lovely sorghum for us later on in the year. We will be drilling sorghum. Let's crack on with getting the animals seen to first of all, and then we can talk drilling. And there we go. That's all the animals seen to, I think. We've given the cows a fresh batch of TMR and they've pretty much taken the whole mixing wagon's worth, apart from about 750 litres. So we might have to do a second batch, but we can do that. Only thing I didn't check on was that the sheep had enough grass. I think I'll just put a fresh bale out the front there so it can nicely top up the trough they have here. Pigs we gave corn, soybeans and some barley and some potatoes too, so they should be up to scratch now, which is really good. And the horses got loads of hay. I think they have probably filled up their pen and could do with some oats, but we'll give them that once the hay has run through. They're looking very happy in here. Right, now that all the animals are seen to, we are going to need to head over to West Creek, as Chuck has been informing me that he just cannot keep up with the demand of the wood from our wood farm to keep the wood productions all nicely fed. So we're going to go have a quick look at the state of affairs over there and see if there's anything we can do to help improve the situation, because at the moment some of our wood productions at Riverways are running rather low on wood and are only just about keeping going, so need to see what we can do to help Chuck out over there. Give Granny a toot. She's keeping busy thanks to all the wool coming from the sheep. Right, West Creek, here we are. We'll turn in. Hopefully our potatoes have grown up nicely, the foliage. I think the foliage looks probably about the same as it was last time, so not much change here. I don't know if the foliage gets any taller on potatoes, to be honest. I think it probably stays quite a low height, and then yes, come harvest time later in the season, look forward to getting the potatoes out. And I was thinking actually the potatoes, as well as helping to feed our pigs as the root crop element, we could also use potatoes as some of the organic waste to make compost from. Right, let's shut down the engine and go and speak to Chuck. Right, so Chuck has been battling to try and keep the wood production flowing, and we've activated all three of the wood producing recipes. So we've got wood slow and then 2 of the wood fasts. We managed to get our hands on some slurry, which meant we could operate 2 fast productions. Then we have the slow one, which is just water and seed. And one of those is making 0.5 units of wood, and then the other 2 are making 1 unit of wood for each cycle. But as Chuck has mentioned, this is just not working. We take a look at some of our wood productions. The wood turner has very little wood. The sawmill is completely out of wood for the time being. The paper factory is out of wood, and the Riverways sawmill luckily has a good amount of wood, because I think it's only making a small amount of planks and furniture each cycle. But we really need to step up the wood production. And one of the things I've done to help improve the situation is we are going to invest some money using the upgradable factories mod. You'll see down here we have an option to upgrade, and for the price of $33,000 we can upgrade this factory to level 2, which means the recipes will upgrade and also the capacity will upgrade. So we're going to go ahead with that. And then, let's have a look what has happened. I think, yep, we have plenty more cycles running. This was around 7,000 previously, and now it's up to 17,000. So we're going to be churning through more quantity of things, water, seeds, manure and slurry, but the capacity has increased as well, so we can feed it more regularly. Right, I've just come over to the water distributor to crank it up even more, so it's pumping more water from West Creek over to our wood factory, wood farm, so Chuck has enough water to keep up with the flow of making wood. So we might have to do another delivery of manure. We will see how we get on, and we may have to see about sourcing some slurry so we can keep all 3 recipes going. But we'll have to check in on that in a week or so's time, so we can see whether the upgrade is now making it so we can keep up with the wood demands of all of our wood productions. But there we go. we'll check in with Chuck later on. Next is on to drilling our sorghum in Newfield. But before we do, I wanted to see if we could roll the grass that was in there to add the secondary level of fertilisation. It's up to the primary level at the moment, but I wanted to see whether the roller slash mulcher we have will actually crush the grass into the field and give us some more natural fertiliser, which is going to save on either manure or on the man-made fertiliser we use in the seed drill. Made it back, so let's park up the pickup in the workshop and we'll head over to grab the Kirovets, as we need the Kirovets to pull the roller out of the shed, and we'll also be using the Kirovets to pull the seed drill, as I think last time we did the drilling we pulled the Great Plains drill with the International Harvester, so it'd be nice to use the Kirovets for a change. Let's hop in, fire up, scaring the animals, driving the Kirovets through here. Right, we'll grab this roller and head on through to Newfield. And as mentioned, this is to really see that if rolling the grass in Newfield is going to add another layer of fertilisation. Mowing the grass last month added the primary level back into the ground, but we've had a little bit of growth here. So let's just unfold and we can see if this is going to do anything for our fertilisation level. Swing the arms of the roller out and then we can tuck into the field. I'm not sure if this is going to work. This is a mulcher rather than a grass roller, but we can see if we see anything change. Okay, the grass is digging in, so let's just take a look. Okay, so the grass has been removed from the section we just rolled, but it has not gone up to the secondary level of fertiliser. This is still the primary. So that means our roller is not going to work for fertilisation purposes. So there is no point rolling it. So we'll raise back up and fold in. Always good to test these things, as we never know really what's going to happen. Spin round. Doesn't matter that we damage that corner of the grass, because the grass was going to get drilled into the field anyway. But I think because we want to kind of save costs on manual fertiliser, even though the bank balance is looking pretty good, I think what we'll do is we'll manure spread Newfield. That'll give it the secondary level, and then we can drill without needing to use any man-made fertiliser. Right, there we go. Let's get this reversed in and then we can grab the manure spreader. We might as well grab the Great Plains on our way over to the Terrogator, the manure spreader. So let's hitch up to this and make sure it's got good amount of seed in there. Don't need to worry about fertiliser. There we go, topped up with seed, luckily from a big bag that we had. We can switch over to sorghum, that's what we're going to be drilling. Don't need to worry about the fertiliser being topped up in there because we are going to be using manure. Excellent, so let's pull up in front of the shed, leave the Kirovets for a moment, and we'll hop in the Terrogator and do the manure spreading of Newfield. Shut her down, and that's the manure spreading all completed. A little bit of a tricky spot trying to get into the shed just then, but all good. And the new field is completely covered in the manure now, so if we inspect we should see, yep, it's up to 100% fertiliser. There we go, the nice darker shade of brown, which is good. So now it's back into the Kirovets. We've already got sorghum selected. Sorghum was one of the few crops we could drill in May, alongside some others, but we didn't really need those, so sorghum seemed to be the best and the crop with the shortest growth window, which helps us out with keeping regular harvests in the right times of the season, so we're not too busy and we're not too shy of work. Right, there we go, we've got this unfolded, so we can switch on now and lower away. And the beauty of our direct drill is that we can drill straight into this field and replace the grass with the sorghum. So there we go, we don't need to cultivate, we don't need to plough, it is just ready for us to drill. So let's get this grass in, let's get this sorghum in over the grass, and we will be nicely drilled with our next season's crop. See you soon. Raising up, and shut the drill down, and that is the sorghum all nicely drilled in there. And one observation is that we have seen the fertilizer drop from about 45% to 6%, I think. That's just from memory. So it looks like we were actually applying solid man-made fertilizer at various points in that field, which is very interesting indeed, because we of course had manure that we spread previously, but there must have been some patches that I did not cover effectively, because we have applied fertilizer. Right, we used 20% of seed, so yeah, very low seed rate needing to go in the soil there, but that is good news for us, saves on the seed costs, and we can go the long way around to drop the Great Plains drill back into the shed. And it looks like the orchard has lost its leaves at a glance, so I'm thinking they're going to need a fresh batch of manure as well. Luckily we've had a lot of straw brewing, so that is good. We can get the straw topped up in the dovecote for the next batch, but we can hopefully grab a good portion of manure to take to the orchard. And we'll check in on the other materials as well whilst we are at it. There we go, seed drill. We can get reversed back in to the workshop. Might be that we need to tweak a few bits, give it a service. It doesn't look like it needs a wash, which is good news. And the Kirovets can go back in the shed. Here, served us well today. Right, let's take a quick inspect of the orchard and see what's going on. Yep, it has absolutely chewed through the manure and the compost that we did put in there. Looks like we could do with a top up of solid fertilizer, so we'll get that put in. So sadly the Iveco is over at the Riverways production point, so we're going to have to use the IFA. It is a little bit underpowered for hauling manure, but we've done it once before, we can do it again. So let's just pull up and see how much we have got in the dovecote. I'm hoping that we've got enough to do a full load to the orchard. Looks like straw is a good quantity, and we've got a good quantity of manure as well. So let's fill up the trailer and get that to the orchard. There we go, that is topped up. And luckily, thanks to our water distributor over at West Creek, we have been able to plumb in the distribution of water to our orchard as well. So the water from there will automatically go into our orchard. Now this is what I meant by struggling. I think the IFA is having a bit of a difficult time. It's rearing up in the front passenger side. Or is that driver's side? That is passenger side. But yes, hopefully once we get enough momentum we can pull this heavy load of manure and get it backed up into the orchard so it's ready to help the fertilizing needs of all of our fruit trees. There you go, trees. Some fresh manure. There we go, the trees are looking happier now and the fruit is back up and running, but we've only just under half filled the capacity of the orchard with manure, and it really is trickling through fast. So we may have to look at reducing how much fruit we are creating. Might have to single it down to, well, we definitely want plums because we are making plum marmalade at the marmalade factory. But yes, maybe we will just keep it down to other simple fruits like apples and pears, and that will be more than enough for our settlers at Lake Point. There we go, we've reduced it down to just apples, pears and plums. Apple and pears will go to the farm shop for selling, and the plums will go to the marmalade factory. That'll do nicely. Now we should think about making some more compost. We've got some organic waste being made at the orchard, but I think once the potatoes come into harvest, we will use some of them to make composts, as potatoes, sugar beet, grass, hay and straw and organic waste can be used to make compost. So I think we'll make a nice little compost medley towards the end of the season once we've know that we've got enough straw to make manure and that we've got enough hay to feed the animals and that we've got enough potato to feed the animals, along with sugar beet as well. But mainly the sugar beet goes to make sugar, so that is fine. I think we could probably do with servicing and refueling the truck, to be honest. So let's take this over to the fueling spot. Here we go. And also to the garage to get it serviced up. Nicely serviced, so it's back up to scratch now. Thought we'd better come in and check on the marmalade factory, which is open for business, which is good. Can hear lots of rumblings on, which is nice to see. And it looks like they've got a decent quantity of plums, 1700 litres, and they've got 600 litres and growing of marmalade, which is very good. And then they will ship this to the farm shop. Fantastic. So it's a good news story for May. We've seen to all the animals, got them nicely fed. We upgraded our wood factory, so hopefully that is going to help Chuck. If it doesn't, we're going to have to upgrade it even further to keep our wood productions nicely fed with all the wood they need. And then we got the new field drilled with sorghum, which is our next crop, which is hopefully going to be ready fairly soon. It's got a nice short crop cycle, sorghum has. I think next month we are going to have to do the weeding of Newfield, where we've just drilled the sorghum, and then we might have our first harvest ready in Stone End Field with the barley in June. But that is it for today. I hope you have enjoyed watching. If you have, remember to drop a like and subscribe if you haven't already. If you've got any tips, tricks or things you'd like me to do, then feel free to leave a comment. But all that's left to say is I hope to see you again next time on The Frontier Farmer, and until then, catch you later. Cheers all. Bye bye.